ebenezer.com, a domain name and web hosting company. Ebenezer is a digital marketing expert, author, and entrepreneur. He is also a business analyst, project manager, motivational speaker, writer, trainer, and a friend of God. He has certifications in computer science from Lagos State University and certifications from the University of Alberta, Canada, in software product management and India School of Business in business technology. Sorry, I have to mute. Ebenezer is a member of the Nigeria Internet Registry Association, NIRA, Internet Society, a senior professional member of Institute of Management, and many others. He currently serves as a volunteer consultant for Capti Digital, where he trains hundreds of youths on a monthly basis on internet and digital marketing. Mr. Ebenezer is happily married to his beautiful wife, Oluwatosin, and blessed with a gorgeous daughter, Shiloh. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, please join me as I make welcome my mentor, my friend and brother, Mr. Ebenezer Dare, to take us on this session. Mr. Ebenezer, you're welcome.
Say that you've been doing a great job, and I believe you are doing a good job too. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can all hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm trying to share my screen. It's telling me the host has disabled participant screen sharing.
I'm doing that.
Right. Okay, thank you, sir. So good evening, everyone. I'm happy. I'm excited to be here this evening. So you don't mind my voice. I've been talking since morning. I've been busy. I've been for about 4 hours today. I've been in a conversation with some of my few clients that I would have to be going back and forth discussing together. So it's one of those things. So I believe God that this evening is going to be fantastic. God is going to be helping us to go through everything we want to go through within the shortest time possible. So this evening, not just to waste our time, I hope everybody can see my screen. If you can see my screen, you can chat. You can just say yes. You can just respond via chat.
Yeah.
There's the chat feature on the Zoom that you can quickly respond. You can use that to respond to that. So this evening, we're talking about building a sustainable business model. Building a sustainable business model. Now, go straight to the content. We look at the objective about what we're discussing tonight. Then in introduction, we want to talk about the factors for building a sustainable business model. We want to look at the 3 P's for building a sustainable business model. There are several businesses, but only few businesses can live the founder or the owner and being passed on to the next generation. So what are the factors that these few companies, you know, the 80-20 rule, out of every percent that will scale through. So we're looking at that doing so that our business too can be part of this 20 business. And I believe that everybody can see my screen, right? Mr. Obina, please can you pause the mute people that maybe they are just joining?
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Obina.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay, thank you, sir. I would like your mic to be on, Mr. Obina, so that you can be giving me an update.
It's always
on the way forward. Thank you, sir. So now we are going into the training proper now. I want to talk about, we want to look at the objective. If you've been to any business school or you've been to any business training, when it comes to business model, they will be telling you about business model canvas. But the major objective of this training this evening is that this training is not designed to show you, this training is designed to show you the factors that can help you in building a sustainable business model. This training is not about business model canvas, because when you talk about business model, that's what most business school or training actually comes to the mind of people when they see or hear business model is the business model canvas. But you can always search online to know more about business model canvas, so in case you don't know about it until now. And if you want to, for those that don't know about business model canvas, they include the following that I've listed, but we are not talking about all this. But business model canvas, when it comes to business model, you say, who are your key partners? What is your key activities, your key resources, your value proposition, your customer relationship, customer segment, channels. These are all the things they teach you in business school. But what we're dealing about, or what we're discussing this evening, is a kind of innovative way of sustaining a business beyond business model canvas. So as we are going into it now, I believe God that the Spirit of God will help us to, it will help us with our understanding. So now let's start. On the introduction, I said starting a business is one thing, but building a sustainable business model that outlives you is another thing. Sir, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, thank you. Starting a business is one thing, but building a sustainable business model that outlives you is another. Building a sustainable business, like people will say, they'll say building a sustainable business is easily said and done. They'll say just create a product that your customers want, your customers will always come back for. Reinvest the profits into marketing, sales, production, and innovation. They will even tell you that have the right set of team members. They will tell you that hope and believe or hope that the economy and the government policies are favorable, and make sure that you have access to capital whenever you need it. It will also make sense if there's no competition for your business. But the reality is you can't eat your cake and have it. There's no how there won't be competition. There is no how government will not keep changing policy. I'm in Lagos, I'm based in Lagos. We knew what happened to OPay just this year when the government, when one policy just came and over $100 million investment, everything just went down the drain via one government policy, sustainable business model. Now, the truth is that things are changing very fast. Access to capital is now harder than before, even before COVID-19. So we are not using COVID-19 as an excuse. It is the only big corporations that have access to loans from banks nowadays. The percentage of small and medium businesses or even startups that get loans from banks is very, very small, very tiny. And that is even if there is any at all. So moreover, competition is getting tougher than it used to be. More people are coming up, new businesses are coming up, new innovations are coming up. Business model that can outlive us. That's the question. I want every participant to start thinking through, or start going through, or start reasoning, or start thinking through, start meditating on how do you think you can build a sustainable business model. I wouldn't mind if you can send me your thought on the chat, just post it on the chat. I will read it later, then we can discuss on it. So how do you think you can build a sustainable business model that can outlive you? I'll be running very fast because of the time, so that we can make sure that we can at least try to cover all the slides that I have here. Now, before we go into the factors, let's look at what sustainability means in business. Sustainability is an all-encompassing term. It can mean different things to different people or different organizations. Sustainability in agriculture is different from sustainability when it comes to business. So, but for the purpose of this training, sustainability means passing your business over to another generation. That means you're able to build a business successfully to the point of passing it to your children, and even your grandchildren can take over the business from your own children. That's sustainability, sustaining the business over time, over decades, over generations, over centuries. We have businesses that have lasted over 100 years, and yet they are still relevant today. They are still doing fantastic. Your children should be able to take the betting from wherever you stop and continue the business legacy, which you have already laid the foundation. And they too should be able to pass it on to their own children. Your business should not be all about survivor. Several businesses out there are only living on survivor. So, but what we are doing this evening is what we can do to make sure that our business is not about survivor, but about being a blessing to our world, reaching out to people. Now we want to look at the factors. So what are the factors for building a sustainable business model? And the first point I have here, I have only 2 on these factors. The first one is what I call black box thinking. Black box thinking. Black box thinking means to always admit and learn from failure. There's no how you're not going to make mistakes. There's no how you're not going to learn from failure. Thomas Edison was on the light for 1,001 times. Every time he did and failed, he tried to correct the next time from the previous experience. So failure, like is part of success. Documenting your mistakes and learning from it will help you to avoid such mistakes in the future, and will definitely in turn help your business to grow. Very few people, even if there is at all, document failure. When you make a decision and you make a bad or wrong decision, you should document it and even know and say, okay, I made this decision on this also day, but the decision backfired. So many people have started business, but they have to close down after a year, after 6 months, after 2 years, based on 1 or 2 bad decisions that they made, or 1 or 2 things that have affected them. So you should be able to document it and say, okay, this is the mistakes I made. Now, to buttress this point, we'll be analyzing the aviation industry and the healthcare sector. We look at these 2 major sectors that are very vital to our everyday life when it comes to business, human beings, and everything. We look at the difference. We look at how black box thinking has been able to help within these 2 industries. So I said aviation industry versus healthcare sector. Now, starting with the aviation industry, just like in the aviation industry, every aircraft comes with a black box. The purpose of this black box is to detail every happening inside the aircraft, from takeoff to landing. And if there happens to be a crash, an aircraft will always intact. The authorities, as in the aviation authorities, we then study the black box. They will analyze it to know the cause of the crash, or a particular button in the control section refuses to respond, or something else. They get to correct and avoid similar mistakes in the future by reviewing their policies, their bylaws, their code of conduct, and every other guidelines. And they will send the same to all the airline companies and all the pilots almost immediately. Their data is always at a real time. So the aviation industry, though there's still crashes till today, though there are still issues, but with the help of the black box, they've been able to perfect some things. They've been able to reduce the number of casualties. They've been able to reduce they've been able to minimize losses in the industry. The aviation industry has protocols that enable every airline, every pilot, every regulator to access every piece of information on a real time. So this has been helping the aviation industry. But the question is, can we say the same thing about the healthcare sector? We can't say the same thing about the healthcare sector and many other industries, the healthcare industry. The doctors hardly learn from their mistakes, and you will see them making the same mistakes over and again. I'll tell you why. Because we believe that the doctors, they are professional. They have years of experience in the field. People don't expect doctors or nurses to make mistakes, especially because their job pertains to life. That's why a doctor will never admit to administering the wrong medicine or the wrong drug or the wrong injection. And the nurses too, or their support staff, they've been wired to keep quiet and back up their bosses if they don't want to lose their job. If things go wrong or goes wrong and they don't want to lose their job. I remember when my wife was in labor, she wanted to give birth. We were at the hospital and the doctor called me. The doctor told me that him as a doctor, that if he should deliver 100 pregnant women and 99 of them were successful and 1 failed, to him as a doctor is a pass mark. But what about the family of that one that maybe they lost the baby or the woman or both of them? But they don't admit. They will never admit to making such mistakes. Now, the only thing you will hear from a doctor is, we all know the story anyway, because we are in Nigeria and Nigerians. The only thing you will hear from a doctor is, we tried our best, but God knows best. It's a lie. There are some premature deaths that can be avoided in the health sector. If only the doctors and nurses will learn from mistakes. There are some things that they can correct. There are some issues that we can avoid if only we can learn from mistakes. And I'm not trying to criticize the doctor, this or the staffs, other people working at the healthcare sector. They are doing a fantastic job every day to rescue many lives, to keep people alive. I'm just concerned about the healthcare sector as a whole. A young practicing doctor will make a similar mistake or the same mistake an experienced doctor made some decades ago, some 30, 20 something years ago. He will still make the same mistake because there's no record for this new doctor to check and review this, what the senior or the experienced doctor, the mistake he has made in time past that would have helped him to avoid repeating such mistakes. You can prove me wrong. Thank God we're in a training. If maybe we have one or two people from the healthcare sector here, we can come up with one or two things that I even studied. I tried to study some healthcare sectors in the US, and I see that they are just trying to come up with new innovations. Just recently trying to also come up with incident form. The incident form will help you to learn, make document your mistakes, and let me just try to come up with that. Let's not talk about our beloved Nigeria. It is well. So now to your own business, or to you as an aspiring entrepreneur, or to you as a startup business owner, how many times have you made a particular mistakes which cost you every time? Why do you keep making the same mistake again and again? Could be assuming things, or just this thing should work, or I think this thing is fine, or I think this thing should be this way. You assume data instead of getting data, analyzing data, getting real fast. Whatever your mistake is, whatever mistakes you've been making, you know it. So it's best that you document whatever mistake or any mistake you've been making before now. Going forward, start documenting them and make sure that you can even pass the same thing. You can pass it on to your staffs, to your employees, and make sure that nobody's making the same mistakes again. Documenting will help you. You know, there's this popular saying that it will help you to learn from your past failure, from your past mistakes. It's simply because you have refused to learn from the mistake. Unless, like I said something, I said, unless we alter the way we see failure. So you must see failure as a key factor to your success, as a key factor to you succeeding in business. Business is not like school. School, you just go, they'll teach you everything, you do the exam, and you pass. But life is in the business part of the world, because you see, if you're working in an organization, your MD will make decisions based on the best of the company. The CEO is making decisions based on the best of the business, irrespective of what you as an employee use or team. They make decisions based on the best interest. So you need to alter the way we scale. You must know that feeling. So do a research all existing companies, and you will see the same thing from it. They have what we call incident forms, and they learn from it. We will look at another example very shortly about how big or companies or great companies have been learning, or they've learned from failure. There's what I call the Toyota way. The Toyota way for the Toyota production process. If an employee or any staff of the company have a problem or discovered an error during production, such person pulls a cord that halts production immediately. What Toyota does is that there's a process they put in place that just at the press of a button, if there's an error, if you as a factory worker or whoever you are, or maybe a contract staff or a full-time staff, there's always a button very close to the factory, to everybody working. So when you notice an error, you quickly press that button will raise an alarm. Everybody in the factory know that there's an issue, this hot production, everybody stops immediately. Then the executives, the senior executives, they are then informed about the issue, then they look into it, they analyze it, they come. Sir, if they don't do this, many lives, it will affect many lives. it can lead to losses. It can lead to losses of loss of lives. It can lead to, there have been some car companies in time past that they've had to recall hundreds of millions of cars due to one error, due to different accidents, that they've had to recall those cars and make sure that they vet, review, and correct whatever the issue is, and then push the car out again for the public, for sales and for consumption. So imagine an employee of Toyota ignoring or hiding an error during production. Imagine how many lives will be lost when this car is finally sold, and thereby damaging the reputation of the company. Do you see why the reason why you need to put that production button at that place where when there are issues that you press the button, everybody does production? And can you also see the reason why you should always document thinking? You may not hear this from business training or business section or business. It is new. Let me say it is new, or let me say it is not rampant, or maybe very few people have access to this kind of information. So, but the few people that have been doing it, the Toyota way, the big company, the Nestle, the Coca-Cola, they all learn from failure, learn from future businesses. So as a business owner, even condemning your staff is wrong. Condemning your employees every time they make mistakes will only affect their self-esteem, and will make them hide the same mistakes from you in the future. If they make the mistake again, don't let Oga know, because if Oga know now, say Oga will sack me. Say Oga go fire me, Oga go talk to me anyhow. So, but if you encourage them that they should document whatever mistakes they make, and you analyze it as a business, you analyze it as a company, it will help other team members to learn from the same mistakes, and it will even help the business to grow faster. Because when mistakes are minimal, it helps the business to move onward and move on very fast. So this one, I hope I am one or two opinion or any suggestion. So my candid advice for every business owner or every participant in this training this evening is that you should develop an incident form that can help you document mistakes and failures, and subsequently learn from your failures. Make sure to never repeat same mistakes twice, as that can hamper the growth and the sustainability of your business. Must you continue to run your business the same way your competitors are? Sorry, I think I jumped. So, okay, my candid advice is for every business owner. Then we'll look at the second factor now. The second factor for building a sustainable business model is called challenging existing procedure. This may want to look similar to black box thinking, but they are different. Challenging existing procedure means disrupting the norms. There's a pattern, there's a way it has always been done. Must we continue to do it that same way? Challenging existing procedure. This second point, make mistakes and learn from it when you challenge existing procedures. So must you continue to run your business the same way your competitors are running theirs? Must you continue to run your business the same way it was handed over to you? Who told you that there are no better ways of doing things? Let me tell you, if you are not making enough revenues or enough profit, enough money from your business currently, it shows that there's a better way of doing that business. That's just the truth. And another truth is that if you are not making enough profit or money from your business, it shows that your money is going to your competitors. Your competitors are doing something you are not doing. So you should learn to challenge the procedure or the process you met, the existing procedure, and you should be able to learn from it. The law of gravity says that anything that goes up must surely come down. Yes, that's true. That's correct. That was right. But the Wright brothers, they decided to challenge the law. They ended up inventing the aircraft, which as of today has become $1 trillion global business annually, raking in $1 trillion for every business owner in the aviation sector, because 1-2 people just decided to challenge existing procedure. Why is it done this way? Why must we continue to do it this way? Why must we continue to, can't there be a better way of doing things? So just always be open-minded. Let your brain be open. Let your brain be thinking. If things are not working, that means there's an issue. There's something we need to resolve. There's an issue. There's a better way of doing this. So many laws, so many theories, so many processes have been challenged, and better inventions have been built. You see, I'm passionate. When I organized, Mr. Obin, I was reading the profile. He said, I'm not a relationship coach, I'm a leadership coach. So I am passionate about business technology management. I'm an IT person. I began to analyze, why is it that, have you noticed that every time there's always an update, there's always patches. If you are using some software, you are using, let's say, Microsoft, for example, your Android, your iOS, there's always, what's it called? An update every time for you to update, because there are new features, there are new things they keep adding. They keep challenging the existing software, what they have. So there are better ways of doing things. They can only come up with those new features, those new innovations, because they decide to think out of the box, or because they decided to challenge the existing procedure. So many theories have been challenged, and better innovations and better inventions have been built. So if you don't challenge the existing procedures, you will continue to struggle. Your business will only be for survival. But if you can come up with better processes, if you can come up with a better way of doing business, a better way of doing things, you will dominate your industry. It's not a rocket science. It's a matter of you putting yourself into the business, you thinking through the business and coming up with better, innovative ways of doing the business. Challenging existing processes will help you, processes or procedure, will help you to think out of the box. It will task your brain, and new ideas will be built that will help you to grow and sustain the business. I hope I am making sense. Now, let's look at these two guys. Thank you, sir. Let's look at the Blockbuster and the Netflix. Before now, before Netflix came on board, we have the Blockbuster. This Blockbuster in US is a company in US. They are into the rental of films, all these videos. When there are new videos, they produce CDs. They have shops everywhere. They have brick and mortars. So you go to a shop. We have it in Nigeria before, though the business is long gone now. So you go to a shop, you go and rent video, and when after watching it, you return it. If you return the movies late, they will charge you for late fee. You have to pay late fee on returning movies late. But the guy that came up with Netflix, let's look at it, that is there no better way of doing this business? And the truth is that what affected that thinking was because he was compelled to pay an extra fee while returning a movie late. So he wasn't comfortable with paying that money, but he has no choice. So he was of the opinion that, can there be a better way of doing this thing? Then he came up with Netflix. He came up with an online subscription. He came up with watching the movie. Once the movie is released today, you can get it today on Netflix. You start watching, and you just pay as you go. Just pay a token. I know many of us are on Netflix. Many of us see how we keep scrambling for Netflix. How many people wants to go to a shop now to go and rent a movie? That Blockbuster movie, as at the 90s, they were the biggest in the movie industry when it comes to movie rentals. They were doing fantastically well. They have hundreds of thousands of shops across the street in the US. But they faded out in no time. As in, the business disappeared. They went into the dunghill. The business had to close down because people were no longer coming to patronize them, because Netflix has taken over the business. So do you want your business to outlive you? Do you want to pass on your business to your children, to your grandchildren? Then you must challenge existing procedure. Look at the way you've been doing things. Are there better ways of doing those things? You should be able to think out of the box, and don't think once and for all. Let the thinking process be a continuous process. Let it be a continuous thing. There's another company, these two companies in Nigeria, though they are not competitors directly, because of one reason or the other we explain, but in a way they are competitors and they are challenging themselves. Now, I know many of us will know InterSwitch, and maybe few people will know Paystack. InterSwitch before now, they've been the payment gateway in Nigeria. Even they were so smart that they got the license from the federal government to be the major payment gateway in the country. So almost all the banks sits on their platform. Or until now, most of the bank in the country sits on their platform. But when Paystack came up, they look at the model, they look at the processes that InterSwitch have been engaging or they've been using. If you want to connect to InterSwitch, maybe we develop websites, we do payment integration for people. So before now, if you want to connect with, if you want people to be paying you online, we have to pay InterSwitch a setup fee of about 250,000 naira before they will start attending to you. And when they give you the process, after you've connected, they still charge you on every sales. They charge a fee, a percentage. Paystack came up. Paystack said, no. They scrapped the setup fee. They said, don't pay setup fee. Just connect to us. And we charge maybe 1.5% on every transaction that goes through our platform. They challenge the existing process. Paystack today is a multi-million-dollar company in Nigeria. Paystack is not only in Nigeria, they are in other African countries. Paystack today, they are doing even what InterSwitch doesn't do. InterSwitch don't allow international payment. Paystack is accepting international payment. They challenge the existing procedure. Can you see the reason why you should always challenge the existing procedure if you want to succeed? Though they might have maybe gotten a kind of partnership with InterSwitch before they can be running payment gateway based on the license that InterSwitch got. I don't have the full details because I'm not an insider in InterSwitch or Paystack, but Paystack did their own thing their way. They did it differently that even InterSwitch, you hardly hear about them nowadays. They're only running after old businesses that they've been able to acquire. But for new businesses, it's a no-no. We have several new payment gateways that are outside there. So we have Flutterwaves, we have GTPay, we have several of them outside there that are now challenging the existing model or existing business processes. So you need to keep asking yourself some very vital and important questions about your business and your industry. You need to come up with new ideas. You need to test your business ideas, your ideas, and you can make mistakes or you may make mistakes, no problem, but learn from your mistakes and keep improving, keep moving, keep going forward. Why must water continue to boil at 100 degrees Celsius? I believe the science students in the house, or yes, the science-related students, you understand. Can't it boil at 120 or 80 degrees? Somebody just came up with a theory or a model or a law that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. If you challenge that process, you will see that water does not only boil at 100 degrees Celsius. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at a particular temperature. If you go to another temperature, it may boil below 100. It may boil above 100. Yes, and that's very correct. But if you don't challenge the existing procedures or process, you won't know. They will just give it to you, boom, and you take it. That, yes, so water boils at 100 degrees Celsius simply because you couldn't challenge the existing process or existing procedures. So why must I wait for my customers to come to my shop before they can patronize me? Can't they stay at their house or at their own business place and they make orders and they will get it within the shortest time possible? As a dry cleaner or in a dry cleaning business, can you go to your customer's place to go and pick their clothes, take it to your shop, go and wash, dry clean, then return it to them? They will continue to, they will just call you, say, Chairman, okay, please come over, come and pick my clothes. Why will you wait for them? There are several people, before they get to your shop, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other dry cleaners on the road that they can just branch their own shop before getting to you. So let why and how become your companion. Your competitors in your industries are not relenting too. They are trying hard. They are coming up with new innovations. You must be prepared to leapfrog them by thinking out of the box. We are already getting close to the end of the training because it's almost time. So now, let's quickly look at the 3 P's that will help you to build. So those are the 2 factors for challenging, for building a business model. But these 3 P's also will help you to build a sustainable business model. It is called product, people, and process. Please take it in this order. Product, you must have your product first. Let's assume you want to go into online business now. Let's assume you want to, let me look for a business idea. Okay, let's assume you want to convert whatever your business into online. The product must be ready before looking for the people to push the product. Or let's say you have 1 or 2 people that help with the product, and once the product is ready, then you get the right people in place, then you get the process. The process is the structure. When I mean people, people are not just people, they are right people that help business. There's this Packard's law. David Packard is a co-founder of HP Computer. Many of us, we have this laptops. We have this HP laptop. We see it every day. We have it everywhere. He said that the Parker's law states that no company or no business can grow revenues more consistently faster than its ability to get the right people that will implement that growth. So you need the right people that will implement the process. You need the right people that will implement the growth, and you still be a great company. So which means once you get the product, that people are very, very important, and not just people, the right people. The right people. There are some people that are not good for your business. There are some people that you need to let them go. You need to make decisions as a business owner to let them go. If you don't allow them to go, they won't allow the business to grow. But there are some people that you need in your business. Though, like they say, nobody's indispensable, but there are some people that just not because of the money you are paying them, but because they are passionate about the business, they're passionate about what you are doing, they will stay. So I don't want to dwell much on the product people process, but it's something we need to take a keen look at. We need to analyze. We need to make sure that the process are in place. Process is like a system. You building a system around your business that even when you are not around, even if you travel, even if let's assume you just relocate for the next 1 year, 1, 2 years, your business is still running. There should be a structure. There should be a system. There should be a process in place, and those processes can only be implemented after you have the people. So product, which is your business or your business idea, the right people. You can't do it alone. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, if you want your business to outlive you, if you want your business to outlive even your children to another generation, then you need the right people. You need people, and not just people, but the right set of people. Then process must be put in place. And in conclusion, turn your ideas into products, get the right team to work with that. Get the right team to work with that. Get the right team to work with. Sorry, there should be a comma there. Get the right team to work with. That will help you in achieving your dream and put the right structure or the right process in place. I believe with the very few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that building a sustainable business model is real and is achievable. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Questions.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Please, it's time for questions, so you can start sending in your questions if you have any. And for contributions or comments, you can indicate with a raise of hand, with the raise hand feature, and you'll be given the opportunity to do so. So we'll take questions for the next few minutes, and we are set to wrap up. Questions, please. Okay. All right. Someone sent in a question. Mr. Bennis, are you there?
Sorry, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, sir. Someone sent in a question to me, love. You have an idea of a particular business, but the environment at which you are will not allow you. What would you do?
Okay. You have an idea of a particular business and the environment. You see, when you want to do business, business survives in some particular environment, not all or every environment. Okay, I can see the question. You have an idea of a particular business, but the environment at which you are will not allow you. The best thing is go to the environment where your business can thrive. Go to the environment where your business can succeed. I was sorry to use this as an example. I was just in a church service recently, and I had a testimony or a report from a guy that traveled he left Lagos to another state within Nigeria to go and start his business. Maybe said God told him, and he went and started. And within a month, he was counting hundreds of thousands. This was somebody that could hardly feed when he was in Lagos or when he was at the former state where he was. Then within 1 month, and within just in less than 6 months, he has been doing business with the government of the state. He has started counting millions. So there are some environments that are not good for business. That's just fact. That's just the truth. But there's an environment that is there's one environment that there's no matter the kind of business that you are doing, it will always thrive. It will always succeed. It is called online. Please, if you know that your business is not good in your environment, and you can't leave that environment, maybe by the virtue of whatever, maybe you are still staying with your people, school, or whatever it is, take your business online. If you know your environment is not good for your business, take your business online. But your business has to be a physical location where people will come, and your environment is not good. Maybe you are in a remote village where people can't afford your product or they don't actually need it. And even if you're coming up with a business, you don't do business that it's not that because you have an idea, you just start a business. You look for a problem to solve. You look for a problem that is eminent in that your environment. You know what they need. Then you come up with an idea that will best work for the environment where you are. And your business, so you do business based on the responses or the issues within your environment. You know people's needs, you know people's problem, you know their challenges, and you do business based on what they need. So you come up with solutions, you help them resolve it. So many people have issues. We run, and I personally, I do a kind of online training monthly on WhatsApp for some business owners, about 400 of them across 2 WhatsApp groups. And somebody was asking me that, what business can I do and start selling now? And how will I market the business? How do the people buy? I was like, you don't just say because you have an idea. You have to, is your business meeting a need? And if it's meeting need, is it meeting the need at your present location or at your environment? So all these factors need to be put in place. You come up with solutions that can help business thrive at your environment. You come up with problems that people are facing so that you can, by the time you are solving their problem for them, so environment will not be an issue for your business. I hope I've been able to do justice to that question.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you very much, sir. The next question we have, would have liked you to throw more light in how to get people to patronize new product or service.
It's just what I've just said that now. I've just said it, that patronizing your business, you need to develop your product based on the needs of people, not what you think people will need. Many mistakes that aspiring startups or small and medium business owners do or they does is that they develop an idea will just fly across your mind. You say, this thing will be a good product, and you start working on it. No, you look at your environment, you look at your community, you look at your state, you look at the people around you. What are these people lacking? What do they need? What can I do for them? What is something I can come up with that will help them, that a solution I can be providing or providing that will help them. So with that alone, you don't need to be looking for people. People are already waiting for your products. So whenever you're coming up with new product or new business idea, make sure that there are already existing markets for your business or for your product or for your service. Make sure that there are already existing people that are going through 1 or 2 challenges. There's COVID-19 outside now. Even the government, they don't have enough testing kits. So if you can innovate a testing kit now that can help people to test within 30 minutes and they will get the results the same day, they will just sit down and get the results. Under 1 hour, they have the results. Even the government will buy into your product. Everybody can come over to your private business and they start testing for coronavirus, they will buy into your product. As long as they can be approved by the government, by the medical agencies that are in charge, everybody buy into your product. So it's not about you just coming up with products, but about you coming up with products or services that meet the needs of people, that people need. That's the best way I think I can answer that question. Let's move on because of time.
Yeah, before we take the next question, someone's hand is up. A user with the name Infinix Hot 8. Let's quickly hear from the person. So if you're the user Infinix Hot 8, you're muted right now. You have the floor.
It's me. I have a question. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Yes. A case where a person does not have flair for business, but the person has no choice. How can such a person be encouraged?
Yes, you see, the truth is that business is not meant for everybody.
Good.
There are some people, they are called intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs are people that are working in another organization and they'll be using their entrepreneurial skills to build the other organizations. There are several people that have worked in other organizations for decades, 20, 30, 40 years, and they are successful. They are doing fantastically well. They will grow from maybe an office assistant to the position of a CEO over time. Yes, there are people like that. It's not compulsory. Business is not meant for everybody. The truth is, there's a book I wrote or I authored in 2018. I call it Startuppreneurs, for startup entrepreneurs. I have the copies even going out for 1,000 naira for anybody that is interested. There's a part there that I talked about that usually for businesses, people are called. The same way God called pastors, the same way God called men of God that start church. God actually called people into business because your business must be solving a particular need. And God can't continue to watch his people going through issues. So business is not meant for everybody. There are some people that are called into business. So even if you're not called and you force yourself into business, you may not enjoy it in the long run. But you can as well be working under an organization and still be successful, and you'll still do fantastically well. So business is not meant for everybody to say. So you can be in another organization and be doing well and be doing great. But if you now think maybe you need another source of income, or you need a business, just get a business that won't affect your business, that won't affect your work. Just get a business that you know that even if sales is not coming in like that, you are not totally reliant on that business. I'm just shipping in this to just be diplomatic a little bit about the question. So you can just get, let's say you just get a shop, then when you come back from work, you go to the shop, you sit down there, you open it, and once you're done, you close it. If you like, you go today. If you like, you feel like not going, you know that you're not totally reliant on that business.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, I got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's just I believe that will do justice to that question.
Thank you very much. Before someone's hand is also up, but before we take that, let's take one more question. Someone said, would have liked you to throw, I don't think if you've answered that, would have liked you to throw more light. Okay, you've answered that. My question is, please, how do you outsmart your competitors who you definitely know they have gadgets to deliver better than you? Should I take that again?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I get it. I can see it. It's not about their gadgets. There are some businesses, there are some companies. You see, there's what we call whales. There are the people we call whales in business. Whales are these big companies that they have the money, they have the resources, they have everything. When it comes to business, there's no how you always have competitors in business. You always have these whales, and you are like the small fish. But the way to outsmart them is to come up with innovative ways of doing things. Google, they have Google Meet before now. And Google Meet is also a video conferencing like Zoom. But almost the whole world is using Zoom. So Zoom has to come up with innovative ways of outsmarting Google Meet. How? Say Google Meet can only take 20 people at a time, but with the help of Zoom, let Zoom be able to take 100 participants at one time. So with that, many people were trunking, many people are signing up to Zoom, and they say, okay, with Zoom, you can do 40 minutes free. After that, you have to pay this and that, blah, blah, blah. But they have smarted Google Meet. They have smarted Google Meet, which is a big competitor for them. They are making millions of dollars on a monthly basis. On this, we are paying for this section that we are on right now. And yes, you see, if you get an update within just this week, Google also just increased, they just added some features to their application. That okay, now you can also do 100 participants. 100 participants can also meet on Google Meet now. So this question, to answer it goes back to challenging existing procedures. So you go back to challenging you must be able to analyze what your competitors are doing. There's what they call competitive analysis, but I love to call it competitors analysis. You must be able to look at the weakness, the SWOT, the strength, the weaknesses, and the other aspect of your competitors. Know what they are doing right, know what they are not doing right, know what they are not getting right, know how you can outsmart them. So with the help of knowing what they are doing, you'll be able to come up with processes, with modalities that can help you to outsmart them. So they will always have the money, they will always have the resources, they will always have the gadgets, but you must always have the brain. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for that.
Mr. B.
Yeah, someone's hand is up. Can you hear me, sir? Are you there?
Yes,
hello?
Sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
All right. Someone's hand is up. Let's quickly...
I'm with you, sir.
Okay, someone's hand is up. Lenovo, the user with the name Lenovo. Please, let's hear.
You hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you. We really enjoy your your selfless service. God bless you. Very good. Please, can you hear me clearly?
We can go ahead.
Okay. I have tons of questions, but let me just, because of time and some other people that might want to ask questions. Number one, what is the difference between entrepreneur and intrapreneur? Do you understand the question, please?
Yes, I understand.
Intrapreneur and entrepreneur.
Let me
Should
quickly
I ask
answer
the
that.
other question, or
Okay, you just ask the other question so that because of time, we move fast. Ask the other question
okay?
too.
Okay. The second question is in my area, we have some businesses, tons of businesses that can even make someone to be a millionaire within a month, even less than a month, even 2 weeks. But people comes there and they go due to people around that place. They are fetish in nature because of the new environment. So, and this business is still laying fallow, is still there. So what do you think someone can do about that? That is second question. Third question is this, what is it called? NAFDAC. Sorry, NAFDAC. If you want to, you are as a new startup person, you want to register your stuff with NAFDAC. You want to do it legally, but the fear is, should I have to buy all the what is it called? All the equipment before inviting them? Because there is a place that says you can be rejected, as in this thing can be turned down. Is it advisable to buy all those things, or you just call them to come and see the environment before getting those things? What if you buy those things and they now eventually turn you down? What will you do with that? So those are the three questions. Let me just
let me quickly take them one after the other so that I won't miss out on the three questions. Let me start from the first one. The first one talks about startuppreneur and intrapreneur. I have this also in my first book, Startuppreneur, that I try to define the two. Startuppreneur is for somebody, entrepreneur and intrapreneur. Entrepreneur is a businessman, a businesswoman, a business owner. You are not working somewhere else. You are not working for another person. You are doing your own business. You are an entrepreneur. You are doing your own business. You are not on salary from another person or from another organization. Or even if maybe you are on salary in another organization, but you have another business that you are running and is bringing in profits, you are an entrepreneur. But for intrapreneur means you have an entrepreneur skills, you have an entrepreneur potential, and you are using it to build another person's business. Maybe you are working for the government, maybe you are working in another organization. So you are using your entrepreneur skills to develop another man's business. That's an intrapreneur. That's the difference. On the question of being fetish, I was just smiling here when you were asking that question. I don't know if I can do justice to people being fetish in the area. But when it comes to fetish, that means we are going spiritual. And there's no amount of whatever we want to do in the physical that can alter the spiritual. You know, when it comes to spiritual, you have to fight it with spiritual. Spiritual battle go with spiritual. So I may want to avoid that question. Or let me say, you to go spiritual with them. Maybe you go to God, or anyhow you want to do it. But for when it comes to fetish in an environment, then you have to, there's what I call, okay, let me answer it this way. I have on that chapter in my book in Startuppreneur, I said there's something I call the G factor. The G factor is the God factor, because everybody's using something in business. Everybody's using something. So what are you using? So if you know you don't want to go fetish, then you must be using the G factor, which is the God factor. So even if they are fetish and you are very strong, be you a Christian, be you a whatever your religion is, and you know you are very strong, believing in God, and you don't have any whatever, I believe you can succeed. So being that will answer the part of being fetish. And now onto the NAFDAC issue. The truth, sir, the truth I must tell you is that if you want to do business that relates to medical line, medical, whatever, you have to be sure. Because when it comes to NAFDAC approving, maybe medical or essential, whatever, you have to follow process. Let me put it that way. You have to follow normal protocol, because if they come and shut down your business, it does not make any sense. We're talking about business sustainability here. So it's not that you start a business because you didn't follow process. Somebody one day, someday, will just shut down your business for no reason. So, and if you know you don't have the requirement for NAFDAC now, you have another competitor that is doing a similar business like what you are doing, you want to partner with them, partner with another person that have NAFDAC approval, leverage on their own platform or on their license, and you are good to go. I think that will do justice to the NAFDAC question. But the truth is, you have to follow procedures when it comes to licenses and NAFDAC. We have people in the aviation industry that maybe they don't have the IATA license, like the government must tell them to come out, but they will partner with other people that have the license, and they are doing their business, they are doing fantastically well. They are raking in millions of naira annually. So it's just that simple, or it's just that simple. So let's go to the next question.
All right, thank you very much. We acknowledge some users whose hands are up. Olusegun will attend to you shortly, but let's take one more question. My question is, okay, taking that. In my area, there are businesses that can turn you.
He's taking that. He has answered the question already.
Yes, that's the same.
Yes,
I have a business, but language inefficiency has been a challenge. How can one overcome this? I think
it's simple. Learn the language. Learn the language. It's so simple. Take your time to learn the language. So many people will come to Nigeria to come and learn our language, not because, yeah, there's this company in Nigeria. Hey, can I remember their name? Can I remember their name? Okay, yeah, it's even OPay. It's even OPay. Yes, there's OPay. When they came, they were doing research for 5 good years before they finally came into the country. You know, they are from China. They are Chinese people. They were in the country doing research, learning about the Nigerian culture for 5 solid years before launching their products in the country. So you just learn the language. It's just as simple as that.
Thank you very
Let's
much.
move to the next question because of time.
Question. So is it proper to hold back a customer? All right, let's quickly hear from Olusegun. Your hand is up. You're unmuted now, so you are.
Mr. Daro, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much for the impact and session. I think I have your book, Entrepreneur. I have the first one. I'm waiting for the second one whenever you release it. This topic, building a sustainable business model. I just want to ask, in some way, what is that factor to build that sustainable business model? Is it the 3P you talk about, or to have a black box in your business?
You see, the major factors are the 2 factors: the black box thinking and challenging existing procedure. But the 3 P's are important. It's just like you have the main players and you have the substitutes on the bench. You know, they are very important because at any time you need to bring in 1 or 2 people to do justice to your business. The people, the products, your business these are key factors. They are key. You can't. There's all these factors I've mentioned in this training this evening are something that you can't do without. You must have the products. There's no business without the product or services. There's no business without people. So though you can do it alone, but you can only go fast. You won't be able to go far. But now we are talking about going far. We are talking about building a sustainable business model that cannot leave you. Then you need the people. You need the right set of people. And you need to put processes in place. These are factors that will help your business to go fast. So everything is important. And they are not, none of them are contradicting each other. Everything is very important.
Yeah, but if you look at the 3 P's now, we want to talk about the product, the people, and the process.
And the process, yeah.
The process can be put in place by you. The product or service is what your company is offering, but the people, you can't control them because the people can end up leaving your organization after studying the whole systems and human for who they are. You know, they are insatiable, and the people which you put so much trust in to build your business, you know, for longevity and transfer, they end up disappointing you and leaving your business or going to form their own. I don't know what you have to say about that.
You see,
because that's the only P you cannot control. You can control the other P.
Okay, let me quickly answer you because I'm trying to run because of time. Talking about the people, talking about people alone, people in business is a full day topic or is a full day lesson that need to analyze. I know that you are talking about the people is a full day training, but I wouldn't want to go into details because of our time. But people you can't do, people will always be people. They can always leave the business anytime they want to leave. We can't control that. But there are this right set of people that will always see to the growth of your business. There are these people that will be there doing the ticks and the turn. I was in a discussion earlier today, and I was using Alibaba as an example. Alibaba, the China, Alibaba.com. That there's this, the female vice president in Alibaba today. This lady started as a customer support. She was earning peanuts. This lady, Alibaba, at the point when Alibaba saw the zeal and her commitment and her efforts into the business, when the business was nothing, Alibaba gave her a 1.5% share of the company and told her that in the next 5 years, in the next few years, this business is going to go global. So if you can be patient, you're going to become a multi-millionaire in 3 years. This lady was worried along the line. After some time, every time we call Alibaba, I say, when is this business going public? When is this thing going to go global? But today, she's the vice president of Alibaba. She's a multi-millionaire.
Wow.
From her salary, even based on the share she has in the company, because Alibaba is a multi-million-dollar business today. So the right people will always stay. That's why when I was talking about people, I was emphasizing or laying emphasis on the right people, not just people, the right people. I will encourage everybody to read this book, Good to Great by James Collins. Good to Great. So, Mr. Shegun, you too can get a copy of that book. It will tell you about the right people.
Thank you.
Good to Great by James Collins. So let's move on.
Thank you. Let's Jill, your hand is up. We'll take her or him, I don't know, and then we'll take one question before we wrap up.
Yeah, very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I hope everybody can hear me.
We can all hear you, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Very good evening to you also, Mr. Dari.
Thank you, sir.
Coach and mentor. I'd like to make some contribution, and I would also like to ask a question. Now, when you are talking about the 3 Ps, we all understand the process, the product, and the people.
You take it the other way around, sir. It's the product, the people, and the process. That is very important.
Okay, the product, the people, and the process. Now, we are talking about the product. I think most of us, especially business owners, we made so many mistakes in starting business. Number one mistake is we fail to do detailed research on whichever businesses we want to do. Most of us are just like, somebody is doing this business, is making money. Let me go into the business also. Maybe I will make money also. We are not doing the research that is necessary for that kind of business you want to do. So I think most business owners or investors, we need to also put this into consideration. Like you mentioned, or you use OPE as a case study. For a company to do a research for 5 years. Now, considering the process of the current situation in the country, the lockdown, and the ban of the Okada riders, their business also will be affected. So probably if they have more details on their research in future details, they will know that someday will come whereby government will cease to use bikes running on the street. I don't know if that part is clear.
Yes, very clear.
Yeah. Another part I would like to also make contribution is the people. Now, talking about the people we employ in the business. For me, I live in the UAE and I have a business in Nigeria. It's very difficult to get the right people for a particular kind of business. I think for people on ground in the country, it might be easier because you can monitor or oversee your business. But at the same time, every human being, they have different things within themselves. You don't judge people with their face. For me, at a point, I lay off all my staff and I have to employ new set because you cannot know their mind. When one person is corrupt, forget it. Everybody will be corrupt. It takes the grace to have one person that is not corrupt. Everybody that is working with you or that is working in your company, they want to make the money that you as a business owner don't even have. There's so many innovation out there, so many things going around the world. People want to fast track the level of which they are making money, which I think it's very difficult. Because for you to commit so much amount of money in any kind of business, and you are employing somebody that is stealing from you, then there is a problem. Sometimes it is difficult for you to even identify people that are honest in dealings. For me, I can just make a short example of what I did. I have few staff, and I make sure that every staff in the company can do the same thing everybody can do. Regardless of the department you are, you have to be able to do something in another department. So when somebody is not available, somebody will be there to do that thing, regardless of the department you are assigned to work. Another thing I also adopted is employing experienced people. As I'm talking about the 3 P's, employing experienced people has an advantage and also has a disadvantage. It has an advantage in the sense that they might also outsmart you if you don't have your detailed research on that business you are going to. That's number one. Number two, employing people, the young, fresh graduates or the IT student or corpers, sometimes have some advantage because one, they have the zeal and they are always willing to learn. You have the zeal to do the assignment you want to give to them. Most of my staff, they don't have the experience. I can even tell you, all of my staff, they don't have the experience in our field of industry. We are in the aviation sector, but they don't have this experience. But as an investor, you have to spend money to train them periodically so that they can deliver on what you want. Sometimes it will get frustrated. I've corrected you on this thing several times, and they are still doing the same mistake. But because you know that they don't have this experience, they don't have this background knowledge on those things, you have to keep training them. And with the help of the likes of like Mr. Daria and the likes, and with other organizations I've partnered with, we've always been training, and there have been improvements in several years. I think Mr. Daria can be a witness. But I would like to ask one question before I sign off. Mr. Daria,
Okay, sir.
Based on your case study,
you, sir.
Based on your case study of the aviation industry and the health sector, considering the current pandemic situation around the world, this is a global situation. It is not a mistake from a business owner or from an individual. How do you think these two industries that you use as a case study can survive during this current situation? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mr. Derek, before you answer that, we have exactly 3 minutes to shut down, sir.
3 minutes
yes, sir.
to go. Okay, let me quickly, we round off. We may not be able to take every other question, but let me quickly round off with what Mr. Ayo has been a good friend of mine and a business partner. He lives in Dubai. He's in Dubai, speaking from that. And I believe the other guy, Lenovo, his voice sounds like one of my friends connecting from Estonia. So I believe we have people from different parts of the world connected to Estonia.
Also connected
from Ghana, so that's fantastic. So, Mr. Ayo, thank you very much for the contribution. Though, what I'm going to do for everybody in this training this evening is that I'm recommending Good to Great by Jim Collins. For everybody, every business owner, everybody must read that book, Good to Great by James Collins. It's a very fantastic book. It will tell you about people. It may not talk about the process or the procedure, but it will tell you, it will talk to you a little bit about the processes too, and the procedures and the products. But the major factor is on people. So now, but going to Mr. Ayo's question, the global pandemic is a kind of, let me say, is a one-in-a-century kind of issue. It's a one-in-a-century kind of problem. But the truth is that for the aviation, they're on lockdown right now. And yet, guys, they are the one on the forefront. They are doing a fantastic job. They are doing a great job for us. For the aviation business, it is now mandatory that they start thinking out of the box. They start thinking out of, even when they are not flying, how can they be relevant? You in the aviation business, how can your business be relevant? They are still DHL plane is still flying every day. They are moving goods. They are moving essential products. So that's one, and that's another part to the innovation, or another part to it. There's the logistic part too. It's not compulsory. Maybe you go online. You can come up with on-ground businesses too. So there should be innovative way of making sure that you are not locked down, even when there's lockdown, or you are not out of business. So it goes back to challenging existing procedures. I believe I may not have given you the accurate or the right answer you wish, but that at least will help us to think forward in how to how to do the business, how to come up with innovative ways of overcoming the lockdown. It's a global situation, it's a global problem. I don't even want to talk about it. I've been avoiding the COVID, whatever, but it's just an opportunity for us. Like presently, I'm doing a course right now, a course from the one institute in the UK. I'm almost done. It's a new skill for me. It's a new experience for me. And thank God for the lockdown. So I've been using that to learn new skills. So when there are lockdowns like this, it's another way of you thinking your way out or your way forward, or helping you to come up with new ideas of doing business. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you to my host. Thank you to everybody that have been online all through this period.
Thank you very much. We understand how precious time is to all of us as business-minded people. So we'll not be able to take further questions. And we'll be drawing the curtain for this edition of Building a Sustainable Business Model. We appreciate each and every one of us that who connected. Thank you very much. Please turn on your audio and say bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Dare.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. God
bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
A night to remember.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. God bless you. We love you. Till we meet again, it's Obina saying goodbye.